Right, we're just past 10 o'clock, so I think let's get going. Welcome everyone. So good to have you on the third session. I'm actually pretty impressed. We've got 70 people on session 3. I've done many of these things through my career, and it's always the case that you normally end up with about 10 to 20% of the people who started end up on the final session. The statistics are actually pretty good on this. We started with 200, we've got 70, so that's over a third of you are still with us on the last one. So I'm very happy. This is a topic which is hot. It's something that all agents are interested in. We're engaged with, and I'd like to think that you've got a lot of value in these 2 sessions so far and in today. And I say that because I've got so much value out of this. I've learned so much from Neil just sitting here and listening to him teach us. So yeah, Neil, I actually wanted us to start today by saying thank you to you for the time that you've offered us. You don't get paid for doing this. You are serving us in the industry. So thank you very much, Neil. Anything you want to greet anyone?
Yeah, I think it's been such an adventure over the past couple of weeks. Steve and I have also been having these group coaching sessions. So like in a group coaching session, you'll have an agent in Stilbaai and Kimberley and Cape Town and Joburg all on one phone call, which has been like so cool and such an adventure. And it's just amazing when you get people in the same room or Google meeting. You look at the same topic from different perspectives, and we all learn from each other. And I never went into this webinar series expecting that I would learn as much as I did. I was thinking, I've got to try and teach these things that I've been learning, but I took more away from this than what I've given, which has been so rewarding and encouraging. So thanks guys for joining.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you're all right now finding the little emoji button, and you're going to send Neil a thumbs up, or you're going to put a little comment in the chat roll just to say thank you to him. Okay, so look at that, Neil. Corin, you want to say something? Your hand is up. Okay, no. You're just saying thank you to Neil. Okay. So just a few points of admin. Number 1 is the replays. You do all have this because I've been emailing it to everyone after every session. I'll send another email after today with the same link. But let me put the link in the chat roll for you. So if you're looking for the replays, this is where you'll find all 3 of them. So as you can see, session number 1 was content is king. Session number 2, creating effective videos. And then session number 3, coming soon, coming today, we're going to be looking at building your audience. Okay, so that'll go up on that page after today. The next thing that I wanted to just alert you about was the Facebook page. The Facebook page is now, it's awesome. There's hundreds of people that are members of this Facebook group that we formed. So let's keep the group open after the session. Let's just keep in relationship with each other. Let's keep talking to each other. When you have ideas, if you've got a video that you put up, stick it up on that Facebook group, and that's a way we can keep in touch in the future. I think that's a great idea. I wanted to actually play you and say congratulations to Ramsey. So this is Ramsey Rayners, and he said, so he put this on the Facebook group to show it to us. He said, here goes nothing, something like that. Here's my first video. And actually, he did an amazing job with this. You can see how he is trying to implement everything that he's been learning in these 2 sessions. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Ramsey as I play this little video.
Muizenberg, what's not to love about this beautiful artsy seaside suburb with its beach and mountains and easy laid-back neighbors all around? Well, there is one other thing. This gorgeous 3-bedroom family home that's just come onto the market. Let's go have a look.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there because my one bit of, so I loved how it's his face, it's his personality. He's walking through the garden. He's like a mini Neil Robinson. There he goes. and then it's silent, and then as the footage of the house begins, the sort of peaceful music comes in. So like so much cool stuff. I love it. Well done, Ramsey. I'm actually really proud of that effort. The only thing I would say is that the video ends up being a little bit long. Just because I think you try to show too much of the house, and Neil taught us in session number 1, sneak peek. That's the whole idea behind these videos. Keep them short, sneak peek, show the best parts of the home, and then they can contact you afterwards. Okay, so that's the replays. That's the Facebook group. So how many people are members of this Facebook group? Where do I see that? Neil,
There's
you should.
over 200, Steve. I can't see on your computer, but there's
Yeah,
over
sorry. There it is, the top left corner. So 206 of you. So if you haven't gone and joined the group, please go and do so. Let me put that link in the chat roll. Did somebody do it? Thanks, Monica. Oh, my unpaid PA. Thank you, Monica. Oh, at some point, I'm going to have to buy you a trip to Mauritius or something like that. Then next on the thing was just a little recap. So what I want to do is just do a quick recap of the highlights of session number 1. And then Neil is going to do the same for session number 2. So session number 1, by the way, guys, I'm having massive problems with my electricity in my house after paying 280,000 Rand to get us off the grid, etc. The system is failing, and so if I get booted out of the webinar, Neil, you just carry on. It's just because my internet crashes, everything goes. Okay, so number 1, content. We looked at a little video by Ricky Caruth, and he mentioned 3 types of content you should be producing. There's a 4th one that Neil and I have spoken about. So market updates, maybe once a month, listing videos, which is the obvious one, and then videos that establish you as an authority amongst other estate agents. So messages for other agents. Interesting concept. And then the last one, which he doesn't really comment on, but Neil and I are big on, is what Neil calls indirect marketing, which is establishing yourself as an expert in your area more broadly. Restaurant reviews, local heritage sites, Neil visiting the Ferrari showroom, etc. So 4 kinds of content. Any comments on that, Neil?
Yeah, I think that's great. One of the examples we looked at in that first session was Ari Reed, agent in London, and she actually travels worldwide doing video content in different countries. But she is huge on indirect marketing. She's developed a following of over 147,000 people who follow her page. And she's done that really through indirect marketing, restaurant reviews, looking at unique heritage sites in London. And she does like 1 or 2 dribs and drabs of listing videos of properties she's taken to the market. But the large portion of her content is all completely indirect, which, like we've spoken about, seems somewhat short-sighted. But when you look at the long-term benefits and the spillover, because those restaurants go and share, if you want to visit all the top places in London, you go to Ari Reed's page, you see all the restaurants, and she's got like interesting facts. So like one of the type of video content she produces is how much does it cost to live in Westminster? And she'll share some property stats of property prices. So she looks for like little value add gaps where she can add value of interesting facts, restaurant reviews, and she does phenomenally well. She's a great example, and it's a good idea to follow her and learn from her.
I think I've actually got one of her things here. I'm hoping this is it.
Guys,
Yeah.
I've had the best meal for the last 3 weeks here in France. I'm in a restaurant called Coco, which is in the Opéra Garnier. So it actually sits in the original opera house built by Napoleon III at the end of the 19th century. As you can see, We've got a really cool sort of roaring 20s vibe, which I think is really fun. And the restaurant was founded by the company Paris Society. They are a French-run company which began with nightclubs, and in 2017 they started opening restaurants. And thank God, because what they've done here is brilliant. I've had a wonderful pork chop, and here in front of me I've got a chocolate cream with ice cream at the bottom and then a chantilly cream at the top. Wish me luck, because I'm gonna eat this whole thing right now. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bonjour, salut guys.
Cool. So yeah, there's a pretty cool, very informal restaurant review, very light-hearted, and I mean, this got like 3,000 likes. I'm not sure how many views she got on this, but this is in Paris. Yeah, so that's one of the many examples. She does a phenomenal job of indirect marketing. But just to add on to the recap from session 1, Steve, one of the other aspects we looked at and closed out with is the 3 major benefits of creating unique video content. I know all of us are in this series to figure out how this can benefit our businesses. So I identified 3 major ways this has benefited my business. And there's probably more, but these are the 3 that I've sort of drilled down. One of them is that these videos are an incredibly tangible tool as you network with people, even if you're cold calling. I had a funny example the other day. A lady I called in Parkhurst, client who's interested in selling her home, and she wants a valuation, and sent her a follow-up message, WhatsApp. I got blue ticks, phoned her, doesn't answer. And I thought, oh, let me send her a video. So I sent her 2 of my videos that I've done in Parkhurst and Craighall, and I got a response within 5 minutes. She was like, hey, I love your videos. Can you come and do a valuation? And I was like, well, what changed? It's that she saw something tangible and visual that I was doing in the Parkhurst area, speaking about a property, showcasing a property in a compelling way. So there's a lot to be said about using these videos. I don't know how it works, but it's an incredibly tangible way of showcasing what you do as an agent. Number 2, it gives your sellers exceptional assurance that you're throwing the kitchen sink at marketing their property. I mean, if you have to put yourself in the customer's shoes, imagine getting a compelling, engaging sneak peek video of your property a couple of hours after the agent has walked out of your door, and that's been flighted on social media platforms and has a couple thousand views within 48 hours. That leaves an awesome impression on your seller, and a great sort of established rapport, so that if it comes to having to extend a mandate or whatever, they'll probably have your back and be loyal to you. So that's number 2, it gives your sellers exceptional assurance. And then thirdly, online lead generation. I'm really getting more leads through social media than through any other channel. Quite cool. Recently, and I'll share it a bit later, I got some listings that I'm going to do videos of in Clifton on the Atlantic seaboard through social media. I got asked yesterday to advertise a hotel in the Drakensberg. It's like 100 million rand hotel, and I got a message on Instagram. I mean, what is that? That's unheard of. So it's really a powerful tool if you can harness this tool right. Anything you want to add to that, Steve?
Well, I would just add, it's a bit of a shameless plug, but it does come to mind, that's one of the most powerful things about the EXP model, is that because Neil has joined EXP, he can list and sell anywhere in the country. There's no geographic boundaries. And so this whole world that social media is opening for him is open for him.
Yeah.
I think that's an important point. Yeah, just so if I can wrap up then on session 1, I think the other thing we spoke about, Neil, was consistency. That, and Monica was talking about it earlier, that you are not going to become a social media kingpin overnight. You have to count the cost of what you're getting into. don't start if you're not willing to continue, because it looks really shameful to you as a business person if you've got one really rinky-dink video that was done 3 months ago and there hasn't been anything posted since. So if you're going to start, you've got to see it through. This can't become some extraneous little strategy that you're just going to try. Oh yes, I'm dip my toe in that water as well. It's got to become a major strategy in your business, and be prepared for that. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say in response to. Look, ChatGPT is something we did demonstrate on figuring out content ideas, but actually the next series I'm going to be doing, like this one with Neil, is with a guy called Andre Foster. Andre is one of the top agents in my team, and he has done enormous amounts of research on AI and ChatGPT and how to use it with different applications within your real estate business. It is a phenomenal tool if you know how to use it. And yeah, don't miss that series. You'll see the emails go out when we launch it. Yeah, so session 2, Neil.
Yeah, let me just add one or two more recaps on session 1 there. One is that Instagram makes it really easy for you to spend money on boosted ads. It's quite crazy how you can spend money on advertising through Instagram. So just a caution there, I would, as sort of someone who's figuring out their social media and building their page, I would primarily focus your energy, time, and efforts on developing excellent content that gets organically good feedback. So for instance, if I post a reel and I see that the likes and comments and shares start flying in within a couple of hours, I know that that's good content because my audience are liking it, they're engaging with it. That's the type of content that I'm going to throw money behind advertising. And sometimes your content just needs a bit of a snowball effect to gain momentum, and that's what paid ads really helps with. I mean, there's a couple that I know, they're a photography business. They've got a small, it's just sort of husband and wife. They've got their wedding photography business. And they were just saying to me, you know, how have you gained so many followers and this and that, and what's helped you? So I said, I boost my good content. You guys should try boosting, even if it's a couple of 100 rands, and see the response. I mean, if it's 100, 200 rand, let's see the response. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So they took one of their 10-second reels. This reel is 10 seconds. It organically got about 7,500 views. They boosted it. And what started to happen was the snowball effect and momentum. And people just started sharing it. Word of mouth, share, like, comment, share. And it's now on 3.5 million views worldwide. It's been shared on Instagram Messenger over 90,000 times. So all it took for them is this little, like, that ball just started rolling. Now, I can't guarantee that. I wish that would happen for some of my reels, but the concept is something worth learning and adapting in your own business. But it's really important that you have this healthy mix of excellent content and boosted ads. Don't boost an ad that's not good content. You're going to waste your money. You're not going to get any return on investment for those paid ads. So focus on building your foundation on great content. That's what's worked for me, and I really think it can work for you as well. And then lastly, we spoke about the importance of starting. I think if I were to have you take anything away from this entire series, it would be to have developed the courage to take a step and just start. Do 10 bad videos and let your 11th one be a little bit better, and just to get on this journey of experimenting, figuring out what's worked, what doesn't work. Every social media guru, business influencer started somewhere, and a lot of them had a very average start, which is super encouraging for me, because I tend to be a perfectionist and overanalyze things and procrastinate. But the reality of this beast is that growing your social media presence is only learnt in the saddle and on the road. It's something that unfolds and improves with time and action. It's impossible to figure it out before. So my encouragement would be to start before you're ready, and done is better than perfect, because you're going to be in the saddle and learn as you go. Yeah, let's move on to a recap of part 2. Anything you want to add on there, Steve, before I share?
I don't think so. Just the thing on the music. Music is important in your videos, and try to synchronize the beat drops in the music, or the launch of the musical part of the video, like we saw with Ramsey there, to synchronize the edits of the video. That was a key learning for me, actually.
Yeah, great. Cool. So yeah, let's recap the session 2. It was fairly short. I would really encourage you to watch the replay. It's got a 5-minute in detail video of how I edit videos in the back end using the Splice app. It's quite comprehensive, and it'll give you a good guide to start with and learn how to edit videos. The replay link is in the chat. But yeah, quick recap. So basically what we covered in session 2 was all the practicals, how to create effective videos. And we spoke about before, during, and after filming a reel. So before filming, what I usually do is, please post your number. Okay. I can share that in the Facebook group, Des. So before filming, I usually prepare a script. Steve was just chatting about ChatGPT. Sometimes I'll type in, hey, ChatGPT, I've got this really nice Parkhurst property, and it's modern, and it's got 3 bedrooms. What do you think is a captivating intro script to a dynamic video reel on Instagram? And it'll punch out an idea, or like a 3-sentence script, and I'll take what I like and what I don't like and add in my own flair, and then just go for it. Speaking in front of camera has become a lot more off the cuff for me. In the beginning, it took a lot of practice. Some of you guys know, my first video was with a security guard filming me, and it took us like 20 tries to get it right. And I wasn't happy with my tone or my facial expressions or any of those things. But watching the replays and seeing what I could change really helped develop me, and practice make perfect. And then another thing, I just make sure the property is ready, and I do it when there's a photographer there. So I'll just ask the photography team or whoever's there doing still shots of the property to just give me 2 minutes of their time, hold the gimbal, and say, and I say my script. During filming, I've obviously got my gimbal device. I get somebody to hold it. I use an iPhone 13 Pro. This is the device I use. So everything, filming, editing, posting, is all done on my iPhone, which is quite neat. And make sure you record straight up, because Reels, YouTube videos is landscape. If you post your videos like this, you'll find you'll have a big black section at the top and the bottom, and which doesn't make for the greatest viewing experience, and impacts how engaging and how many views you get. HD mode. So you want to record in HD. So on an iPhone, you've got different options. You can record in 4K, 60 frames per second, or HD, which is 1080 PAL, and make sure it's 30 frames per second. The reason I say that is Instagram limits their videos to HD and 30 frames per second. If you post a video that's higher quality than that, Instagram goes and compresses the video, and it creates a very blurry image. So it actually makes it worse than HD. So just make sure all your filming is done in HD mode. And then what I do is shoot as much content as possible of everything. I just click record and move the phone around, and I can always crop and cut later on, just so that I've got a lot to work with. And then even when I'm speaking on cameras, I'll usually give it, speaking in front of the camera, I'll give it about 3 or 4 goes, and have a top 3 of my favorite me speaking videos that I choose from, and then I just pick the best one. So I try have as much content as possible. And then editing, I won't speak too much about that now, Steve. That's in the replay. That's covered extensively. but I use the Splice app that enables you to synchronize the beat drops of the audio with the video slides. So every time there's like a climactic like drop in the beat, it shifts into the kitchen, and then there's another drop, it shifts into the bathroom, and another drop. Maybe, Steve, did you want to share a video on just how that audio sync works?
No, if you've got one, let's watch that, because I've just got 2 questions on editing that I'm going to ask you from one of my videos. But have you got something you want us to watch?
Nothing particular. I'll just make one more note, and then you can share. Another thing we chatted about in the second webinar is just the aspect of fear of speaking in front of camera. It's a very similar fear of speaking in public. Public speaking is one of the biggest fears, like worldwide. This fear of heights, fear of public speaking, and it's right up there as one of the top things. So I think it's really worth acknowledging that, this is a big step. And so Ricky Caruth actually posted a video recently that was super practical and helpful. And he said, if you want to post videos on Instagram and you're scared of speaking in front of a camera, take 30 days of recording yourself every day speaking in front of a camera, and just don't post it. Just save it in your gallery, and you don't have to post it. Nobody has to see it. That way you're getting the ball rolling, you're speaking on camera, you're overcoming your fears. And by the time that 30 days is done, his theory is you're guaranteed to have one video that's post worthy. You're guaranteed to have at least one that you're like, okay, I think I can share this to the public. So if it is quite a fear for you to overcome, that's a great approach. Steve, you can share.
Absolutely, yeah, good, Neil. Okay, so I want to play a little video that I shot after having done the first 2 sessions, and I'm trying to implement the stuff we've learned. And then there's 2 aspects to this video that, interestingly, Neil has not mentioned when he talks about editing videos, and I want to ask him his opinion on these 2 things. One of the reasons a lot of good agents join EXP is the freedom and independence that it offers you. Are you the kind of person that does not want people looking over your shoulder? You want all the independence of running your own real estate business without all of the legal and statutory impediments that come along with doing that in South Africa. You don't want to have to register a company with a PPRA. You don't want to have a trust account and have that audited. You don't want to have P24 memberships and private property memberships and Lightstone memberships. You don't want to have to employ staff and do all the training and be legally responsible and be anyone's principal. You would like to be independent and be able to build a team of agents that is bigger than anything you'd be able to do in your own business. That is what EXP provides. It gives you complete independence to run your own business, to build your own team, even build your own brand, while using EXP's platform to do it. So if you haven't checked it out, go to themodelexplained.co.za and at least educate yourself on EXP's model. One of the reasons a lot of good agents join. Okay, so 2 things I want to raise there. Actually, a third one is I try to speak a lot faster than I do in my normal videos. When I look at some of my older videos, I'm actually embarrassed by how slowly I speak. And it's like, come on, man, get to the point. So yeah, I find, and I actually learned this watching that Ricky Caruth video that you sent, because he actually edits out all of the breaks, and there's these like rough edits that bring sentences close together, and it's high-paced, and I actually think it worked quite well there. So the two things on that video that I want to ask you about is captions. So you'll see I've used captions in the video there. Yeah. And the second thing is B-roll. So, and if we've got time, I'll show another video of moving B-roll. But you had the B-roll so B-roll is like just footage that you put over the voice still speaking in the background. So that couple on the little moped, freedom. That was B-roll to illustrate freedom, and then there's the girl looking at that pile of papers, which is admin. And so, how do you feel about B-roll, and how do you feel about captions?
Yeah, so I've actually never done research into B-roll, and would love to incorporate that in my videos, especially when I start doing market updates. I think that'll add a lot of value. And then with captions, I have used captions before, and you're right, I've forgotten to cover that in this webinar series. So I've installed an app called Captions. It's got an integrated artificial AI tool in it. So you just plug your video in there, and it reads your voice and lips and whatever else it does, and it punches out an automated text. And the advantage of Captions is that when people are at work or whatever, they don't have their volume on full blast to hear exactly what you're saying. So if they see the text, it's more of an engaging experience, that they don't have to put their video on full blast just to hear your voice if you're not speaking super loud. So that's a great advantage. And funny enough, reels that have captions have proven to perform better than reels without captions historically. So that's quite a cool value app. So the app is called Captions. I'm not sure what app you use, Steve. Yeah, there we go. I got the same one. Yeah, there we go. That's it, Captions. And did you say something, Steve? I think your mic was off.
No, it's fine. I just said that's what it looks like. It's like a purple little icon. No.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, there's a small subscription fee of a couple R100 per year that you pay. So it works up to like 40, 50 Rand a month. And you just pay that through your app store. Yeah. Melissa, B-roll is basically what Steve was saying on his video here. So when Steve starts speaking about freedom, there's a behind-the-scenes shot of a couple driving on a scooter, and so it's content not directly a part of the video, but it relates to the themes that he's speaking about. So it's behind-the-scene overlays. That's what B-roll is. Hope that helps.
Can I show? Okay, because I've figured out something really cool yesterday. I'm going to show another video for the concept of B-roll and how to capture B-roll off your phone. Okay, and I'll talk about how I did this in a second. But you've done your first deal with EXP, you are given shares in the company. If you do well as an EXP agent, I do well because the share price goes up. We all want the company to prosper. Because of the revenue sharing structure of EXP, for the first time in many estate agents' lives, they're in a company where other agents actually want them to do well too. Now, you're not going to get in most real estate companies the top agent in Camps Bay or whatever it is teaching all the other agents how to do what they're doing so well. Whereas you come into EXP and Neil is teaching everybody how to really crush it on Instagram. We're about to launch a new series with Andre Foster. He's going to be teaching agents everything he's learned about using AI and ChatGPT within a real estate context, and the applications will blow your mind. Why is he willing to do that? Because the culture of the company is just different. It's collaborative, it's family. Everybody wants everybody else to do well in the business. By the time okay, so just comments from me, and then I'm done for the day, and Neil, hand it back over to you. But you'll see there's some moving, some scrolling B-roll there. Now, how do I do that? Because I'm wanting a portrait video. I'm wanting video like that. I can't go onto my computer and screen capture like myself scrolling around a website and then put it in a video. So I don't know if you've got a Samsung. I don't know if it's got this software. I'm sure you can download an app that does it. But on an iPhone, if you down swipe from the top right-hand corner, you will see that there's a little icon there. It's an open circle with a closed circle in the middle of it. You're probably not going to be able to see that. If you tap that, it counts down 3, 2, 1, and then it's recording whatever's on your phone. So then what I do is I just go to the website. So I went to a couple of websites there, and I slowly scroll up with my finger, and it's busy recording, and then I stop recording. And then that little piece of footage, I upload it to my computer because I do my editing on my computer, and then you just put it in your video. So using your phone to create B-roll for your videos, I think is an awesome idea.
Yeah, great point. And I love how this video captures the ChatGPT busy typing for you. And those things would only be possible if you're recording the screens. I often, on that note of screen recording, I use screen recording to capture the audio of certain reels. So if I see a reel that I really like that's got a dynamic, engaging trending audio. I'll quickly take out my screen recording and record the 30-second reel, and then that I've got that audio. Great, cool, Steve. So quickly, guys, today's actual new content that I'm going to be covering today is going to be super short. So a lot of today is largely a recap. And but basically, I wanted to share very simply on how to grow your audience on social media. And we'll look at two main ways to do that. One is paid advertising, and the other one is organic advertising, or paid marketing and organic marketing. On the note of paid advertising, so let's say I post a video reel or a listing post with swipe left photos, and it's a property in Ilovo. I can go and click on the bottom right of that and click boost post. Instagram gives you several options. You can use different filters. So you can use a manual filter. The manual filter gives you options of choosing age, demographics, locations, etc. You can go mad with that. Or you could use Instagram's algorithm. So that's their artificial intelligence algorithm. How the algorithm works in all its entirety, I don't know all the details, but I do know that they target who they believe to be your target audience. So let's say Steve is my target audience. Steve has been, over the past 2 weeks, clicking on Craighall Park listings on property 24. He's sending his wife the 5-bedroom property in Craighall Park on WhatsApp. He's typing a few emails to estate agents. Instagram records all of that data. And when I post my Instagram reel and I click boost, that Instagram reel is going to show up on Steve's Instagram. That's how powerful this targeted social media advertising is. So I found the best way is using Instagram's automatic algorithm and then running campaigns. So I run the campaigns. They give you the option of running it for a certain duration. You could run it for 5 days or 50 days. You can put an amount of money of 50 Rand or 500,000 Rand, whatever you want to put for that duration. But I use a minimum of 5 to 7 days. And depending on how good the content feedback I've gotten organically is, that sort of is the determining factor of how much money I put behind it. So I can show you a Parkhurst listing. Steve can share his screen that I recently did. So this hasn't had the most views on my page. It's the number 2 highest performing reel on my page, but it's gotten the most engagement, likes, and shares. So maybe Steve can play that and I can share the story around that.
Everyone, I've got a Parkhurst gem to show you today. This modern 3-bedroom house has been meticulously renovated, giving it a fresh, modern, open plan feel to it. Come and join me for a sneak peek. I've got a Parkhurst gem.
Great. So this is the usual recipe of a sneak peek video. It's got me speaking in front of the camera. It's got some captions there like Steve and I just spoke about. And then it goes into some shots of the property with some background music. But to give you some cool insights on this, this was the first video of mine that crossed 1,000 likes. So it was quite a cool milestone for me. The first ever post I've gotten that's gotten over 1,000 people liking it, which is a great way to measure how good this video was. It also got shared on Instagram Messenger 195 times. So 195 people shared this video with their friends in the parks areas, which is an incredible way of spreading word of mouth and getting referral business. And so basically what I did here, this video, I let it run for about 48 hours. And if I'm not mistaken, it got to about 300 likes organically, and probably about 20 or 30 shares. So that's no boosting. And then I put in a 10-day marketing campaign. I put in 1,500 Rand over 10 days. And that took it from around 10,000 views to what it's now on 63,000 views. And also it got shared 200 times and has generated future business for me, because people in Parkhurst or the parks or wherever have seen this very good marketing video and are interested in me doing the same marketing for them. So that's an example of paid advertising and the great results that can come from it if it's combined with great content. That mix is essential. And then lastly, on sort of part 3 of this webinar, organic growth. So this is largely up to your creativity, and I would really encourage you to, put your creative thinking caps on as to what would work well for you and how you could add your own creative flair to it. But some examples of organically growing your followers or audience is restaurant reviews. So going to a restaurant and saying, hey, I'd love to review you and tag you. Could we do a collaborator post so that this video appears on your page and my page? So it's a win-win. You get free marketing, I get free marketing. That's an organic, cost-effective way of growing followers. Another option which I've done is interviewing business owners. In my case, it's unique business owners in the parks. The one video I did was with a tailor in Parkhurst, and that video got flighted on his page and my page. So I got exposed as a real estate agent to all of his followers, and he got exposed as a tailor to all of my followers. So it's a huge win-win. And I can't tell you, there's so many people I've bumped into in a cafe or whatever, and they're like, oh, I know you because you interviewed that David Harris Taylor guy in Parkhurst. And I mean, it's got nothing to do with real estate, but it's creating great exposure and marketing. So that's it on social media growth. You've got paid advertising and organic advertising. Pretty simple, straightforward, but it requires you putting your creative thinking cap on, creating good content, and then putting some money behind that content. And I would encourage you to, if you're taking it seriously, to invest in yourself, because if you do this right, it can generate an incredible amount of future business for you. It has for me, and it can for you too. Cool. That's it of part 3 on how to grow an audience.
So a couple of questions on that. When you select potential partners to do a collaborator post with, are you looking at service providers in your area and stalking them on Instagram and seeing who's already got a big followership, and then specifically choosing those guys to do your collabs with?
Yeah, so they need to have a decent following, but they also need to have sort of the right type of following. So this Taylor, for instance, he doesn't have a huge amount of followers. He's got about 1,000 followers, so he's not a huge page. 1,000 is a lot of people, but in that 1,000, you've got some very top businessmen who go to that guy for their suits in the parks. So it's a very focused, targeted audience. Same with the Ferrari dealership. They've also got around 1,000 followers, but the guys that follow that Ferrari dealership and are that guy's clients are high-end clients. And for them to see me is worth more than going to the nail bar, if that makes sense. Not that I would ever interview a nail bar, but it's a good example of the two. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, good. And then the other question was around, okay, so you said organic growth using collaborations where possible. and then paid growth boosting it, and that increases followership as well. Is this third way, is it a genuine way of getting more people to follow you by following others?
Yeah, so I started with this, but Instagram doesn't like it when you do this, because they pick up on it. You'll get messages that say, we don't like what you're doing. So what I used to do every time I boosted an ad and got new likes, because you get people liking your post, but they don't necessarily follow your page. So if you go into those likes and you just click follow all those people, they all get notifications. Neil Robinson Real Estate followed you. Neil Robinson Real Estate followed you. And they're like, oh, who's that? They click on your page and they follow you back. So it's a bit of a hack, but Instagram catches onto it and they might block you. So I stopped doing that quite quickly. Yeah.
Is it? Wow, okay. Because I mean, I've got like a standard part of my routine each day is just to like follow 10 or 15 estate agents. I just follow, and then a number of them will follow me back.
Yeah. I think if you do it too much, they don't like it for some reason. Yeah. I don't know why, but just to be wary of that. But it is a good way of getting follow back audience. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Great.
Okay, cool, guys. Neil, anything else from you?
Yeah, just to close out with one thing on vision, and then Steve can speak a little bit about the group coaching we're offering. I thought it'd be really worthwhile looking at this aspect of vision. It's something that I often think about and contemplate as a way of motivating me and keeping me motivated through the different setbacks that real estate and building a real estate business has on social media. A definition that helps me understand what vision is by an author named Andy Stanley. He defines it as a clear mental picture of what could be in your future 5, 10, 15 years, fueled by the conviction that it should be. So it's a really cool way of defining vision, a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction that it should be. You know, if you look at a pro athlete, for example, and the grind and the training that a pro athlete goes through, all of that is impossible unless that athlete is continually fueling his vision and desire for greatness in his sport. And that's the only thing that pulls him. So vision, if we really harness it correctly, has a very powerful motivational pull. I know for me that this mental picture, if I really color that picture in of where I want to be in 5, 10, 15 years as a real estate agent using social media as a tool, the more clearly I color that picture in, the more powerful the pull is. I mean, I've got a vision board behind me that helps me quite a lot. One of the goals and visions there is to have luxury listings in Joburg and Cape Town. And I mean, recently I've just been chatting with agents about some luxury Cape Town, and I really don't believe that's a coincidence. So I wanted to close out with some questions for you. Is what is your mental picture of where you could be in the next 5, 10, 15 years? What is your vision? What is your vision for yourself on social media? Where do you want your page to be? How many followers do you want to have in the next couple of years? And just to challenge you and encourage you to take that down and really color that picture in, because the more you color in that picture of your dreams and your vision, the more pull it has on your life. Things start to happen, actions start to take place. I know when I lose sight of my vision, I get distracted, and setbacks, failures, defeats really get me down. And so just wanted to share that in closing out. What is your mental picture? What is your vision for your social media growth? Steve, over to you.
I think it might be worth, guys, doing a little exercise where you write down exactly what Neil just encouraged you to do. You know, one of the things you'll learn when you listen to men and women who have achieved much in life is that I think one of the things you'll notice is that people will listen to them because they think they've got some kind of secret source to the thing, and actually they do. I'd rather listen to someone. The point I'm making is this: Neil was one of the top cyclists in South Africa. This is a guy who has achieved an enormous amount in his chosen field until a horrendous injury took him out of professional cycling. Now he's got into real estate. Within 3 months, he's crushing it so much on Instagram that he's running a series that hundreds of estate agents are following on, and I think you could all agree with me, he's brought incredible value to us. And at the end of the whole of the 3 sessions, he's saying to you, as someone who knows how to achieve success in life, you have to have a vision. So why don't you do that today? Take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes, just to put down on paper what you want to achieve. So take that as wisdom from Neil. Thanks, Neil. Love it. Okay, so last thing that I'll do, if we do have a chance, maybe we can address some of the questions, Neil, if you want to maybe just peruse those down the chat roll while I'm talking about the coaching. But what Neil and I have wanted to do is to give opportunity to some of you guys. We can't promise that it's going to be all of you. Not everyone is going to get a chance to participate in this. It's limited to probably 20 or 25 of you. We've done some of this already with some of you guys, and we've loved the time that we've spent with you guys. But what Neil and I wanted to do is get into smaller groups, because you've got 1,000 questions in your head right now. I've got 1,000 questions. Neil's got 1,000 questions. We're all learning this thing. There's no end game. And we just found getting into small groups and giving you guys the chance to have a voice. We also actually have a look at some of your social media profiles. We looked at your Instagram accounts. We watch a couple of your videos, and then we talk about it. These little small groups, maybe 5 or 6 of us in a session, are very, very powerful, because you learn so much through the interaction of conversation. So what we decided to do after the final webinar is just to open up a page. I'm going to put the link in the chat roll now. You can actually click the link. It'll open it in another tab. It won't boot you out of this meeting. And you're going to see on that page that there's a form on the right-hand side that you can fill in. So we're asking you for some details. And then there's 5 sessions that you can choose from. And those are the only 5 sessions we're doing. And as I say, we want to limit it to maybe 4 or 5 of you on each of those sessions. So not everyone's going to get a chance. It's first come, first serve. But you select your session and you click book your place. And then we'll get back to you with a confirmation that you've been given a position. And then we'll send you a specific link. It'll be a different link for each meeting, so that only those 5 people can get in. So go ahead, put yourself one of the coaching sessions. Neil, yeah.
Yeah, I would just add on to that, guys. It's so powerful, this tool of having 4 or 5 agents in one webinar. I've been learning a ton. It's like gold. I've been seeing this social media beast from different perspectives, from different cities, and I've taken away so many awesome nuggets. If you'd like to reach out to you and be one of those people, it's really a worthwhile opportunity of learning.
Okay, guys, if we did not get to your questions, I see there's a number of questions in the chat roll, but if we start with one, we're going to have to get to them all, and we don't have time for that. So I'm going to ask, put your questions on the Facebook group. We're all in there. Neil's been good at responding in there, and then potentially book a one-on-one, not a one-on-one, a small group coaching session for yourself, and we can cover all of those things. So guys, thank you for joining us. Ended up with 110 people in today's webinar. That's amazing, guys. Thank you for seeing it through with us. Hope you got value out of the series. I loved it. Neil, thanks again for your time. God bless you guys, and we look forward to seeing you in one of these small group sessions if that's you.
Cheers, guys. Thanks so much for the past 3 weeks.